Most people think you need six figures to actually move into a beautiful house in Sweden. But here's what I found this week. 10 stunning, fully livable homes starting at $30,000. And I mean homes you can actually move into right now. Picture a red cottage nestled in birch forest, a weathered dock reaching into mirror-still archipelago waters, snow-dusted ski slopes glowing in winter's last light, a sun-bleached heritage house on the Baltic coast. The beach just steps away. That's Sweden. And right now, the price tags attached to these properties make absolutely no sense in the best possible way. Starting under 24,000 euros, around $27,000, and here's what matters. Not one of these homes needs major renovations. Every single property sits on this list as move-in ready. The last two on this list will flip everything you think you know about Scandinavian value, which means don't skip ahead. We're not just evaluating houses here, we're evaluating what kind of life these prices buy you. And we're talking about light, air, garden space, water access, what greets you from your front door the morning after you move in. Prices reflect the moment of selection, and these listings move fast, so always verify documents and fees before you act. Now let's start the clock. Our first property today hits 23,000 euros, $27,000, and say that out loud because it's our anchor price for a 3-bedroom country home in Gastricland, in the village of Gemmelstilla, Torsåker. Step outside, and you're standing on a park-like garden stretching over 2,293 square meters, roughly 24,700 square feet, or about half an acre with social nooks, flower beds equipped with an irrigation system already running, a working root cellar, plus an outbuilding that houses both a carpentry workshop and running water. Its roof renewed in 2022. This is not a ruin. Inside, 85 square meters, around 920 square feet, spread across 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, with that bathroom being a recent addition, featuring sleek, modern surfaces throughout. The heart of everything is a country kitchen completely rebuilt in 2022, fitted with new appliances and storage designed to actually make you want to cook. Heating comes from a waterborne system, powered by an electric heater, supported by a wood-fired stove, an air-to-air heat pump, and a solar panel system installed just last year. According to the listing, this property is renovated and move-in ready, with no major surprises waiting on the other side of the transaction. You also get an EV charging point in the carport and a pond just beyond the garden edge for summer swims. For less than the price of a used car in most European cities, you're getting 3 bedrooms, solar panels, and a workshop. That sets the bar for this entire list. But the next one swaps the forest for the sea, and it's worth every extra euro. The Stockholm archipelago contains 30,000 islands threading out into the Baltic, and some of the most coveted coastline in Northern Europe appears right here on this list. Property number 2 costs 33,200 euros, about $39,200, and the leader just changed. This is a 3-bedroom house in the Björnesund-Hattudden area of Norrtälje, sitting on an elevated plot with panoramic sea views that define the location entirely. The conservatory faces the water, and according to the listing, every room receives natural light and front row views of the archipelago beyond. Inside, 82 square meters, roughly 880 square feet, unfold as open-planned living and dining with a fireplace, a fully equipped kitchen, 3 bedrooms looking out over either the garden or the sea, and a separate guest house on the property. You also get a private boat berth and high-speed internet noted in the listing, plus full freehold status. The listing describes this as good condition, solid properties you can actually move into, not a museum, but real life on the water. For 33 grand, you're looking at archipelago access, a guest house, and a boat berth all at once. This just took the lead, but wait, because the next one costs less and somehow adds a sauna. Number 3 comes in at 30,594 euros, $36,100, putting us back below 31,000 in Skæbobrook, Norrtälje Kommun, still within the Roslagen region with access to water, but carrying a different kind of magic entirely. The exterior shows a classic Swedish country home on a 2,499 square meter plot, about 26,900 square feet, or roughly half an acre, featuring a spacious wooden deck that looks directly out over the nearby lake. Inside, 60 square meters, around 650 square feet, span 2 bedrooms and 1 modern bathroom, with an open-plan living area, flooded with natural light through large windows, a kitchen equipped with modern appliances and real storage space. What makes this one stand out is the separate guest house on the plot and the private sauna attached to the property, with year-round usability thanks to insulation and heating systems already in place, and described as move-in ready and good condition. Lake access for swimming, fishing, and kayaking arrives with the property. Plus, you're getting a sauna, a guest house, and a generous plot for under 31,000 euros. That's hard to explain to someone who hasn't looked at this market. The next one goes deeper into Sweden, heading further north into more remote territory, and the price drops again. But here's the thing, there's a catch worth understanding up front. The fourth property brings us to 26,240 euros, roughly $31,000 in Jämtland, deep in the Swedish interior at Hammerdal, in Strömsunds kommun. From the outside, this cottage embodies the archetypal Swedish torp. Classic red with white trim, the kind of facade that ends up on postcards and calendars, with Lake Fjärjön sitting 900 meters, about 2,900 feet or roughly half a mile away, and a ski lift operating in the area. Inside 80 square meters, nearly 860 square feet, break across 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, with wooden floors, exposed beams, and a country kitchen centered around a wood-burning stove and fireplace that anchors the whole space. Now here's the honest part, because that's what this roundup is really for. The listing notes: this cottage has no winter insulation, there's an outdoor toilet, and water comes from a drilled well with preparations in place for future sewage upgrades. This isn't a ruin, but it's definitely worth knowing before you book flights. For a family wanting a traditional torp with mountain access and 3 bedrooms for 26,000 euros, this delivers very little competition. Next up costs even less, sits on an island, and carries a twist worth considering before you move forward. Mirko deserves a moment to explain itself because it's an island in the southern archipelago, about 60 kilometers, roughly 37 miles, from Stockholm, reachable by road and surrounded by pine forest and coastal light, farm shops selling things that were growing in a field that morning, and that particular Swedish summer atmosphere that's genuinely hard to put a price on until now. Number 5 costs 24,485 euros, roughly $28,900, and this is a woodland cottage on Mirko Island with the sea at Stavbofjärden, sitting 300 meters from the front door, just under 1,000 feet away. The cottage itself spans 25 square meters, roughly 270 square feet, compact but described as functional, featuring a well-equipped kitchen, a living area, large windows framing the forest, a garden, and a separate guest cottage on the plot alongside it. Now the honest facts, because you deserve them. This is a leasehold plot carrying an annual fee of around 30,000 Swedish kroner, and there's no bathroom listed in the main structure, so always verify documents and the full fee structure on this one before moving forward. Tiny footprint, genuinely big location, island life 60 kilometers from Stockholm, the sea in walking distance for under 25,000 euros. It's not a museum, it's a summer life most people only dream about. The next one sits at a similar price, but you're trading the island for a ski resort. And a bigger twist is coming. Number 6 lands us at 26,250 euros, about $31,000, in Sälen, at Gotland, in the mountains of Dalarna, Sweden's premier ski destination. The exterior reads like a mountain postcard. Snow-capped peaks surrounding a plot of 1,761 square meters, roughly 18,900 square feet, or about a quarter acre. Large windows framing the alpine views completely. Inside, 73 square meters, around 790 square feet, span 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom with an open-plan layout, a modern kitchen, quality fixtures throughout, and an EV charger already on the property ready to use. The ski bus stops nearby and takes you directly to the slopes of Östretundadalen, while summer brings hiking trails, mountain biking, and fishing opportunities. Now here's the mid-video twist, and I want to be straight with you. This property operates under a share ownership model, which means you're buying 5 weeks of use per year rather than full sole ownership, with the association handling all maintenance throughout the year. It's not a full ownership play, but if your goal is 5 weeks of Swedish ski and summer life for 26,000 euros with zero renovation headaches, the maths become genuinely hard to argue with. Families do well with this model, and anyone wanting the alpine lifestyle without the full-time commitment will find real value here. Moving straight back to full ownership now, and the next house is winterized. Has a lake 200 meters away, about 650 feet. A train station within walking distance, and costs the exact same. Number 7 appears in Steldalen in Örebro County and costs 30,500 euros. That's about $36,000. It is a hillside house built in 1934, and that hillside position matters because you get sweeping valley views and glimpses of Lake Björksjön from up there, which sits 200 meters, roughly 650 feet, on foot from the front door. Inside, 90 square meters, around 970 square feet, spread across 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, plus a 54 square meter basement, roughly 580 square feet, available for storage or hobbies. The 1934 build is winterized for all-season living and described as good condition, move-in ready as it stands, with 1,518 square meters of garden surrounding the property, roughly 16,300 square feet, or about a third of an acre. The best part is the local train station sits within walking distance, connecting you to both Örebro and Stockholm, while Rome Alpine and Säfsen ski resorts become accessible in winter. This is the most connected rural property on the entire list. Nature and transport combined in one package. The price jumps for the next one, but so does the location, because next up we're heading south to the third city. Malmo sits as Sweden's third city, and the Öresund Bridge connects it directly to Copenhagen, making it one of the most internationally connected spots in all of Scandinavia, surrounded by cycle paths, waterfront culture, a genuinely vibrant food scene, and just outside the city limits sits access to Boxskogen Forest. Number 8 costs 69,500 euros, about $82,000. Yes, it's the biggest number on this list, and I'm flagging that openly from the start. Here's what you're getting. A 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage at Almosa Fridhetsby, spanning 40 square meters, roughly 430 square feet, plus 22 square meters of secondary space, about 240 square feet. The interior is the most polished on this entire list, featuring a glazed veranda, a conservatory with outdoor deck, an ethanol fireplace, oak laminate flooring, a modern kitchen with stylish appliances, and a fully tiled bathroom with underfloor heating throughout. The listing describes it as move-in ready, built in 1968 and thoughtfully updated since, but here's the reality check. This is a leasehold community carrying an annual fee, and you're getting 1 bedroom for $69,000. Worth it? That depends entirely on your life and what you value. If you're a remote worker or a weekender who wants zero renovation, Malmo Copenhagen access, Boxskogen Forest trails outside your door, and the most turnkey cottage on this list, then yes, it's worth it. The next property costs less, and it comes with nearly 6,000 square meters of land. Number 9 hits 59,500 euros, about $70,200, with the price just dropping from number 8, landing us in Kilafors, Bollnäs Municipality in Gävleborg County. This is a historic house built in 1909, modest inside with 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom spanning 53 square meters, roughly 570 square feet. But step outside, and the garden expands to 5,985 square meters. That's nearly 6,000 square meters, roughly 64,400 square feet, or about 1.5 acres, and by far the largest plot on this entire list. A guest cottage with electricity sits on the property, plus a woodshed and additional storage areas throughout. with the lake sitting 1.5 kilometers away, roughly a mile, and a golf course within cycling distance. According to the listing, the house is in good condition and described as suitable for year-round living. And here's what matters. If land is your priority, if you want space to grow food, park a van, build something, breathe, this is your house. Under 60,000 euros gets you a historic Swedish farmhouse with a guest cottage and nearly 6,000 square meters of private land. One property remains on this list. It costs less than this one, sits on an island, and stands 250 meters from the beach. Number 10 arrives at 41,500 euros, about $49,000, and the leader just changed one final time. This is Lugern on the island of Gotland, Sweden's beloved summer island in the Baltic, accessible by ferry or direct flight from the mainland, and the kind of place Swedes dream about all winter long. Lugern sits as a coastal village on the eastern shore, known for sandy beaches, a welcoming community, and a summer atmosphere that's completely its own thing. Storvägen 55 is a heritage house, originally constructed in the 18th century with extensions in the 19th and modern updates through the 1980s, described by the listing as meticulously maintained with historical character, preserved alongside all the modern comforts. 2 bedrooms, 1 renovated bathroom, a renovated kitchen, blending traditional aesthetics with modern functionality, a sunlit main living area, and an attic space previously used as a sleeping area with potential for more. The garden spans 1,620 square meters, roughly 17,400 square feet, or about 4/10 of an acre, with mature trees and shrubs providing full privacy. The beach at Lugern, sandy and genuinely Baltic, sits 250 meters from the front door, about 820 feet away, a 3-minute walk. It's not a museum, it's real life on the best island in the Baltic. For 41,500 euros, roughly $49,000, you get an 18th century heritage house, 2 bedrooms, a renovated interior, a private mature garden, and you land a 3-minute walk from the sea. This is the one people will be talking about in the comments. So, let's map this out. Best for land goes to number 9 in Kilafors, nearly 6,000 square meters, about 1.5 acres, for under 60 grand, while best sea access goes to number 10 on Gotland, 250 meters from the beach, and featuring a Baltic island lifestyle. Best price per bedroom lands on number 1 in Gastricland, with 3 bedrooms, solar panels, and a workshop for 23,000 euros, around $27,000, and best turnkey urban option goes to number 8, the Malmo cottage, with the most polished interior, 0 renovation needed, and Copenhagen within reach. Best adventure lifestyle appears at number 6 in Salin, with 5 weeks of ski and mountain life for 26 grand. If that model works for you, comment below and tell me which one you'd actually move into and what your budget looks like, because I'm genuinely curious whether Gotland takes the top spot or if the archipelago pulls people back to number 2. If you want more finds like this from the next region, and it is cheaper and considerably warmer, subscribe so you don't miss it.